She was the best mom anybody could ever ask for. My mama, she woke up every day and went to work for us. My mama died trying to take care of us.
To already be on probation for another stabbing and then you went and unalived someone from a stabbing, that girl knew exactly what she was doing. She knew exactly what she was doing. So this was not Afeni's first time involved in a violent act like this, a stabbing to be exact.
Man, this whole thing is just crazy. You know, sometimes you hear about stuff like this and you think it's from some sort of horror movie, but no. It's real. A McDonald's worker, Afeni Muhammad, stabbed her manager, Jennifer Harris, multiple times at their East Point location. It's insane how quickly a small disagreement can turn into something that tragic. So here's what happened. Afeni Muhammad, who was just 26 by the way, got sent home by Jennifer Harris for not doing her job. Simple as that. I mean, she wasn't doing her duty, so Harris had to send her home.
She needs to understand that just because she's a mother and got children doesn't mean that she can come in the store, you know, disrespecting people, talking to them like everybody's beneath her. She has no respect. And it isn't funny at all. Like, seriously, man, I gotta take care of. And she keeps sending me home early. It's not funny.
Now, you'd think that would be the end of it. Maybe you're a little embarrassed. You go home, cool off, and come back the next day. But no, Afeni didn't just go home. She left the restaurant, and apparently the whole time she was plotting to come back and unalive her manager. She drove back with a knife in her car, ready to do something horrible. She entered through the back door, put on a mask to cover her face, and then just went straight for Harris. The worst part? Jennifer wasn't even armed. She had no chance. Afeni just repeatedly stabbed her, and it sounds like up to 15 times. I mean, how does that even happen? After the attack, she tried to run, but thankfully a customer who happened to be there stopped her from leaving, and the cops arrested her on the spot. They even found the knife. Afeni didn't even try to deny it. She admitted it right away, saying she intended to unalive Harris. The charges against Afeni are brutal. First-degree murder, carrying a weapon with unlawful intent, and a habitual offender charge. First-degree murder in Michigan? That's life without parole. That's serious, serious time. And to make matters worse, it's not like this was a one-off thing. Afeni has a past. She's been involved in violent crimes before, including a stabbing incident.
They gave her a $25 million bond, which honestly is like no bond because I don't think she's coming up with 10% working at McDonald's. But she trying to push the narrative. She did plead not guilty. She's trying to push the narrative that she was in a domestic violence situation and she has drug and alcohol abuse issues. So y'all, they said that there's some facts that has not been exposed and she's eager to get those facts out that can, I guess, prove her innocence.
In court, her defense attorney tried to argue that she had been through a lot. He mentioned she was in an abusive relationship dealing with mental and physical abuse. But none of that changes what she did. Just because someone's going through tough times doesn't give them the right to unalive another person. He also brought up that she had helped save a man with skin cancer before, but that doesn't make this any less horrific. The prosecution, though, wasn't buying any of it. They were all about the public safety aspect, and it makes sense. Afeni brought a weapon into a public space, unalived someone, and then tried to run. They pointed out that she's clearly a danger to the community. They also mentioned her past history of violence, including a stabbing incident before. This isn't her first run-in with violence. The judge didn't let this slide. The bond was set at a jaw-dropping $25 million. And the judge also mentioned the severity of the crime. Afeni is a threat to public safety. She entered a place of work, attacked someone, and tried to escape. Her past history of violence made the judge even more concerned about what she might do next. If Afeni somehow manages to post that massive bond, there are going to be some serious conditions. She'll have to wear a GPS ankle monitor, stay in Michigan, and report her address every 24 hours. There's also going to be daily check-ins, drug and alcohol testing, and she can't have contact with Jennifer's family or any witnesses. Plus, she's banned from going back to McDonald's. If she can't post the bond, she stays in custody. It's just one of those situations that leaves you shaking your head. You think you're going to work, doing your job, and then something like this happens. What really gets to me is how Afeni had time to think about it. This wasn't a heat-of-the-moment decision. She left, went home, grabbed a knife, and came back to do something terrible. This wasn't a crime of passion. It was planned. And of course, we can argue the other side of the narrative too. Maybe her manager, Jennifer Harris, wasn't the angel that some may paint her out to be. We don't know all the details of a relationship, right? There's always two sides to every story, and workplace dynamics can get complicated. We've all heard about the toxic work environments where employees feel belittled, bullied, or undervalued. It's a sad reality for many people out there, and unfortunately, it's a common experience that happens far too often.
I used to work at McDonald's as a shift manager and a department manager, and I made a hell of a lot more money at McDonald's than worrying about counting these parts, baby. Let me tell you. Anyway, the reason I quit was because McDonald's has a bad problem with hiring all these people when they can't give their other employees hours. I got my hours because I was a manager, but I also had been a single mother. So when I would see single moms begging for hours and they're having me send them home instead of these that don't even want to be there, to me, ask them, who wants to go home? Because trust me, these teenagers are going to want to go home more than this single mom. It's not how they roll at McDonald's, though. They're going to send her home. They're spiteful. Fact. And so this certain single mother was asking for hours, and of course they're like, no, we can't give it to you. We can't give it to you. And when they had her go get tea, and when she went to go get tea, the assistant manager told the store manager, why don't she have more kids so she could get more food stamps? On my heart, that's what she said. That's what she said. Not even half an hour later, they sent her home. They sent that single mom begging for hours home instead of the little girl over here that was begging to leave. They made her stay. So they're being spiteful to both people. Listen, she wants to leave. Let her fucking leave. She wants to stay. Let her stay. Anyway, they send all these people home, and then they want their managers to just to work themselves to death. It might be okay money, but it wasn't that good. It was better than what I make at this manufacturing, but it wasn't that kind of good money. And so the store manager's sitting on her ass back there, and I have her come up and help because it's literally me and one other girl, busier than shit, wrapped around. And she's like, well, what am I supposed to do? I don't know, your job. Not sitting in the office on your phone playing Tetris or whatever the you're doing. And she's like, well, I can't help it that we had to send them home. I have to get my bonus. Ding, ding, ding. That's where it's at. It's the bonus. They're worried about those bonuses. And so I'm like, well, it ain't my problem anymore. And I threw the keys at her and I left. And the point I was trying to make is don't be treating people like shit. Because girls and guys, people are up to here. They're done. They're done with the dumb shit. Stop hiring thousands of people when you can't even keep 20 of them with 40 hours. Let's just be real, McDonald's and every other place that does this. And I wasn't even trying to take up for myself. Say what you want to me, but these that's working under me that needs hours and you're sending them home and they got kids and I'm a single mother, I don't roll that way.
A lot of people in the comments talking about no matter how that lady was behaving, nobody deserves to have their life taken, which is true. By God, this is true. But people got to understand that you cannot play with people. You cannot bully people. And then you tell that individual how they should respond. Everybody got free will. If you're going to use your free will to be disrespectful, you need to be ready for whatever choice that individual makes with their free will. I cannot go up to a man, violate a man, disrespect him, and tell that man you can do anything, but just don't me behind what I just did to you. I can't tell that man nothing. However he decide to respond, I got to be ready for being a bully, for being disrespectful. That's for one. For two, a lot of today's staff, especially managers and supervisors, are toxic. Very toxic. Y'all coming into workplaces not even being professional and trying to handle people how you handle people in your regular life. A lot of people don't agree with the way that you move in real life, but under this professional roof, you need to be professional. People will try to divide staff, try to be cool with this part of staff and be crooked in this way and do things this way and be messy. As long as you can turn half of the staff this way, then the other staff got to fall in line. Some managers get a kick out of showing up. knowing that they don't have no authority in their real life at all. But when they show up to work, I get to bully and handle anybody in my environment when I step into this place, and I'm going to take advantage of it. And that's why a lot of people do not like people in authority, because some people can't handle authority. As soon as they get a little bit of power, the first start going to their mind is abuse. But you get away with it for so long, you think you can treat everybody like that.
As someone who has had countless of jobs, and I have experienced being micromanaged, I have experienced having different managers who take their authority to the furthest extent because they have that authority. I can kind of understand why you will reach a breaking point, because there has been several managers that I've had and I've wanted to put them on their necks. Maybe not take their life, but definitely on their frontal lobes, straight down to the ground. Because what some people fail to realize and what some people fail to acknowledge is a lot of these managers literally overdo their positions. And yes, some jobs do come with certain rules where you're not to be on the phone and you still have to work and stuff like that. But let's be real. If you've actually worked in most of these positions, you know that they are not that deep. They are not that deep. Especially working at McDonald's, baby. I don't care how much they try to push that is a real career. It is not. And you are only going to get so far. Literally. So for me to be walking into a McDonald's every day and I have hella stuff weighing on my shoulders back at home, whether it's being sexually assaulted, whether it's being raped, whether it's being bills are high over my head and I cannot get above water, whether it be me having several kids at home and I cannot manage. When I come to work and I have to do something that I already don't want to do, which is come slave at a job, and before y'all get in my comments and be like, well, if you don't want to do it, quit or go somewhere else. The world is not always like that for everybody. The world is not always fair to everybody. The world does not offer everybody the hand that you have. Simple as that. Or the hand that I have. Because me personally, if I don't want to be somewhere, I am going to quit. Which is why I have so many jobs. Or why I have had so many jobs. If I don't want to be there, I'm gone. If I feel the vibe is off, I'm gone. If I feel like something's not going my way, I'm gone. And I don't mean like my way or the highway, no, because you still got to follow rules at a job. But if it's uncomfortable, I'm out of there. That is not the same for everybody, especially not at this time. Most of the time you get a job, you are forced to stay there whether you want to be there or not, because bills have to be paid and you just have to make those sacrifices to make things happen in your life. But when you are already reaching a breaking point, and y'all are in the comments talking about you should never let yourself get that far, or you should never let outside influences you cannot speak as if you are in her shoes, because you do not know her upbringing. You do not know what she's been through. None of the sort. So to tell somebody how to manage their mentality, manage their thoughts, or manage what they got going on is crazy for y'all to say. To even tell somebody to see a therapist is crazy to say, because a lot of people cannot even afford to have a therapist, especially on a McDonald's employee dime. You probably don't have the extra funds to just go indulge in a therapist, let alone health care to cover it on your behalf. Now, again, let me reiterate, you should never resort to taking somebody's life. But again, you also should not resort to devaluing somebody, treating somebody as less than, giving somebody an extremely hard time when they're already going through things of their own.